3 weeks ago, the Pentagon released classified footage that changed everything I believed about extraterrestrial life. The military radar data from January 2025 shows objects moving at speeds that defy our understanding of physics, tracked simultaneously by multiple government agencies. What you're about to see isn't grainy cell phone footage or testimonies from questionable witnesses. This is official government documentation from the Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which received 757 reports between May 2023 and June 2024, with 21 cases remaining unexplained despite extensive analysis. After examining 20 pieces of evidence that emerged this year, I can no longer dismiss what's happening above us. The events of January 15th would prove to be just the beginning. The Pentagon's January 2025 revelation. The morning of January 15, 2025 marked a turning point in humanity's understanding of what occupies our skies. Pentagon officials released classified military footage captured just hours earlier, showing multiple unidentified objects performing maneuvers that challenge everything we know about aerodynamics and physics. The footage emerged from a coordinated detection event involving 3 separate military installations across Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. Each facility independently tracked the same anomalous signatures on their radar systems, creating an unprecedented level of verification that removed any possibility of equipment malfunction or isolated incidents. The objects appeared on radar screens at Edwards Air Force Base in the early morning hours, moving at calculated speeds that exceeded conventional aircraft capabilities. Within minutes, the same signatures registered at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada and Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico. The triangulation data revealed objects capable of covering distances that would require conventional aircraft considerable time to traverse, yet they accomplished these movements with remarkable speed. The simultaneity of these detections across such vast distances eliminated any conventional explanation involving known military or civilian aircraft. Military radar operators witnessed something that contradicted their decades of training and experience. The objects demonstrated flight characteristics that defied conventional understanding of aircraft performance. These maneuvers occurred without the typical flight patterns expected from conventional aircraft, helicopters, or known experimental vehicles. The radar signatures showed behavior patterns unlike anything in their extensive databases of known aircraft types and capabilities. The Pentagon's disclosure represents data from the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which received 757 UAP reports between May 2023 and June 2024. Of these reports, AARO resolved 118 cases through conventional explanations, while 21 cases merit further analysis due to their anomalous characteristics. The January 2025 incident joins a small number of radar visual encounters that have defied conventional explanation, similar to the famous 2004 Nimitz, Tic-Tac incident off the coast of California. The decision to release this footage represented an unprecedented departure from standard military protocol. Previous UAP disclosures involved careful consideration periods lasting months or years before any information reached public awareness. The January 2025 footage was released within 72 hours of its capture, suggesting either a fundamental shift in government transparency policies or recognition that the evidence was too significant to suppress. Military officials acknowledged that withholding this particular footage would serve no legitimate national security interest. The objects captured on January 15th exhibited behaviors that challenged basic understanding of conventional aircraft performance. Traditional aircraft follow predictable flight patterns based on known propulsion and aerodynamic principles. Yet these objects demonstrated extended periods of hovering followed by rapid acceleration. The radar signatures showed characteristics unlike conventional aircraft, helicopters, balloons, or known experimental vehicles. The objects appeared to operate using methods beyond current publicly known technological capabilities. Military personnel who witnessed the events provided testimony that corroborated the extraordinary nature of these observations. Radar operators described watching objects appear and disappear from radar screens in patterns that suggested controlled movement rather than equipment malfunctions. The objects maintained consistent signatures across multiple detection systems, ruling out electronic interference or atmospheric anomalies. Personnel noted that in their years of radar operation experience, they had never witnessed anything approaching the performance characteristics demonstrated by these objects. The government's new transparency protocols established in early 2025 created a framework for rapid disclosure of UAP evidence that meets specific criteria for public release. These protocols emerged from recognition that traditional secrecy approaches had become counterproductive in an era of advanced civilian surveillance technology and global information sharing. The January 2025 incident qualified for immediate release because it involved no classified military technology, occurred over public airspace, and was independently verified by multiple sources. Scientific institutions worldwide responded to the Pentagon's January 2025 disclosure with unprecedented urgency and collaboration. Research panels assembled within days of the footage release to analyze the documented flight characteristics. Scientists acknowledged that the observed maneuvers exceeded conventional explanations and warranted serious scientific investigation. The scientific community's response represented a significant departure from typical dismissive attitudes toward UAP claims. The international aerospace community acknowledged that the January 2025 footage represented a fundamental challenge to accepted understanding of conventional aircraft capabilities. Major aerospace manufacturers confirmed that no existing or projected aircraft technology could replicate the observed performance characteristics. The Federal Aviation Administration issued guidance acknowledging that commercial and private aircraft might encounter objects exhibiting similar unexplained capabilities. Defense contractors with access to classified military aircraft projects confirmed that the January 2025 objects exceeded the capabilities of any known experimental aircraft. Advanced Research Division stated that the observed technology represented capabilities beyond their current research projections. This acknowledgement from organizations responsible for developing the most advanced military aircraft carried significant weight in validating the anomalous nature of the observations. The revelation that the January 15 incident represented merely the first of multiple similar occurrences changed the entire context of UAP disclosure. Military sources confirmed that between January and February 2025, similar objects were detected and documented multiple additional times across various military installations. The frequency and consistency of these encounters suggested ongoing activity rather than isolated phenomena. Each subsequent incident demonstrated similar flight characteristics and technological signatures, indicating a pattern rather than random occurrences. This pattern of encounters has prompted government agencies to expand their investigation protocols and seek additional witness testimony from historical cases. The consistency of these modern sightings has renewed interest in examining previous encounters that may have been dismissed or inadequately investigated. Officials have begun reaching out to witnesses from decades-old cases, applying modern verification techniques to testimonies that were previously considered unreliable. Travis Walton speaks again in 2025. Among the most significant witnesses contacted was Travis Walton, whose 1975 encounter in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest remains one of the most documented and controversial abduction cases in UFO history. Almost 5 decades after his alleged experience, the 72-year-old former forestry worker found himself once again at the center of intense scrutiny as investigators sought to understand how his decades-old testimony might relate to the current wave of UAP encounters. Walton's case has endured nearly half a century of investigation, debate, and analysis. On November 5, 1975, Walton was working with a 7-man forestry crew when they encountered what appeared to be a large, glowing disc-shaped object hovering in a clearing. According to witness testimony, Walton approached the craft and was struck by a beam of light, causing his terrified coworkers to flee the scene. When they returned with authorities, both Walton and the object had vanished. He reappeared 5 days later with detailed memories of being aboard an extraterrestrial craft. The case gained national attention and became the subject of extensive investigation by law enforcement, UFO researchers, and skeptics. Walton and several crew members passed polygraph examinations, though the results have been disputed over the decades. The incident was later adapted into the 1993 film Fire in the Sky, bringing Walton's story to a wider audience and cementing its place in UFO folklore. However, the case has faced significant challenges to its credibility over the years. Prominent skeptic Philip Klass conducted extensive investigations that raised serious questions about the incident's authenticity. Klass documented inconsistencies in witness testimony and suggested the possibility of a hoax motivated by financial considerations, as Walton's crew was behind schedule on a forestry contract and faced potential penalties. The most significant development came in 2021 when Mike Rogers, the crew foreman who had hired Walton and served as a primary witness, publicly retracted his original testimony. Rogers admitted that the entire incident had been staged as an elaborate hoax to avoid contract penalties and generate publicity. This retraction sent shockwaves through the UFO community and appeared to definitively resolve the case in favor of the skeptics. However, Rogers later recanted his retraction, claiming he had been pressured into making false statements and that his original testimony about the incident was accurate. This reversal created additional confusion and controversy around an already complex case. The back-and-forth nature of Rogers' statements has made it difficult for researchers to determine the truth about what actually occurred in 1975. Despite these complications, Walton has consistently maintained his account throughout the decades. He has submitted to numerous polygraph examinations, participated in documentaries, written books about his experience, and continued to speak at conferences about his alleged abduction. His unwavering consistency in recounting the details of his experience has impressed some researchers, while others point to this consistency as evidence of a well-rehearsed fabrication. The renewed interest in Walton's case stems from similarities between his descriptions of the craft's appearance and behavior and characteristics documented in recent military UAP encounters. Walton described a disc-shaped object capable of silent hovering and emission of intense light beams, features that align with observations reported by military personnel in recent years. The craft's ability to appear and disappear rapidly also matches behavior patterns documented in contemporary UAP incidents. Investigators have also noted correlations between Walton's descriptions of the beings he encountered and accounts from other alleged abductees. His detailed recollections of the craft's interior, the appearance and behavior of its occupants, and the medical procedures he claims to have undergone show remarkable consistency with other abduction accounts reported both before and after his experience. The physical evidence associated with the Walton case remains limited but intriguing. The encounter site in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest has been examined multiple times over the decades, with some researchers claiming to have detected unusual electromagnetic readings and soil anomalies. However, these findings have not been independently verified or accepted by mainstream scientific institutions. The case continues to divide the UFO research community. Believers point to the multiple witness testimony, polygraph results, and Walton's consistent account as evidence of a genuine extraterrestrial encounter. Skeptics emphasize the financial motivations, Rogers' retraction, and the lack of conclusive physical evidence as proof of an elaborate hoax that has been maintained for decades. The psychological impact of the case on Walton himself cannot be overlooked. Whether his experience was genuine or fabricated, he has spent nearly 50 years living with the consequences of his claims. The intense scrutiny, public ridicule, and ongoing controversy have shaped his entire adult life. His willingness to continue defending his account despite decades of skepticism suggests either genuine conviction in his experience or an extraordinary commitment to maintaining a fabrication. Recent developments in UAP disclosure have prompted renewed examination of historical cases like Walton's. Government acknowledgement of unexplained aerial phenomena has created a more receptive environment for considering accounts that were previously dismissed outright. However, the complex history of the Walton case, including the credibility issues surrounding key witnesses, makes it a challenging foundation for building broader conclusions about extraterrestrial visitation. As investigators continue to analyze patterns in UAP encounters, cases like Walton's provide historical context for understanding how these phenomena have been reported and investigated over time. The enduring controversy surrounding his account reflects the broader challenges facing UFO research, where extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That often remains elusive. The examination of historical cases has revealed patterns that extend far beyond individual testimonies, suggesting coordinated phenomena occurring across vast geographical distances and spanning multiple decades. The Australian Outback mass sighting of March 2025, one case that demonstrates the growing credibility of civilian pilot reports, occurred in April 2025 when the National Archives released previously classified Federal Aviation Administration documentation. The release included detailed pilot testimonies and radar data from encounters that had been systematically collected but never publicly disclosed. Among these documents was a particularly compelling report from commercial aviation that highlighted the increasing frequency of unexplained aerial encounters in controlled airspace. The April 2025 National Archives release contained FAA pilot reports describing encounters with cylindrical objects exhibiting flight characteristics beyond conventional aircraft capabilities. These reports, previously classified for national security reasons, documented incidents where commercial pilots observed objects that maintained positions and performed maneuvers inconsistent with known aircraft types. The pilots' testimonies were supported by air traffic control radar data and cockpit voice recordings that corroborated their observations. One significant case involved a commercial flight over Kansas where the pilot reported a large cylindrical object maintaining a stationary position at cruising altitude. The object appeared on radar screens at multiple air traffic control facilities, eliminating the possibility of visual misidentification or isolated equipment malfunction. The pilot's detailed description of the object's metallic surface and unusual proportions was recorded in official flight logs and transmitted to FAA headquarters for investigation. Air traffic controllers confirmed tracking the cylindrical object for over 20 minutes as it remained motionless in controlled airspace. The object's radar signature was consistent across multiple detection systems, ruling out atmospheric phenomena or electronic interference. When the commercial flight requested clearance to alter course to maintain safe separation, the object suddenly accelerated and disappeared from radar screens without following any conventional flight path. The FAA documentation revealed that similar cylindrical objects had been reported by multiple commercial flights throughout 2024 and early 2025. These reports shared consistent characteristics including metallic appearance, cylindrical shape, stationary hovering capability, and sudden acceleration beyond conventional aircraft performance. The frequency of these encounters prompted the FAA to issue internal guidance to air traffic controllers regarding protocols for tracking and reporting unidentified aerial phenomena. Defense Scoop obtained additional documentation showing that some of these cylindrical objects were initially suspected of being foreign surveillance platforms, possibly Russian or Chinese spy balloons. However, analysis of their flight characteristics and radar signatures eliminated conventional balloon technology as an explanation. The objects demonstrated controlled movement patterns and acceleration capabilities that exceeded any known balloon or dirigible technology. The pilot reports included detailed observations of the object's physical characteristics that distinguish them from conventional aircraft or known surveillance platforms. Pilots described smooth, metallic surfaces without visible propulsion systems, wings, or control surfaces typical of conventional aircraft. The objects maintained perfect stability in atmospheric conditions that would challenge conventional aircraft, suggesting advanced stabilization technology. Commercial aviation authorities acknowledged that these encounters represented a significant challenge to air traffic safety protocols. The object's ability to appear and disappear suddenly in controlled airspace created potential collision risks for scheduled flights. Pilots reported that the object seemed aware of approaching aircraft, often moving to avoid potential conflicts before air traffic control could issue routing instructions. The radar tracking data revealed that these cylindrical objects operated at altitudes and speeds that placed them within commercial aviation corridors. Air traffic controllers documented instances where the objects maintained positions that would have required significant flight path alterations for commercial aircraft to maintain safe separation. The object's presence in controlled airspace without flight plans or communication with air traffic control violated fundamental aviation safety protocols. The April 2025 document release included communications between FAA officials and military authorities regarding coordination of responses to these encounters. The documents revealed ongoing cooperation between civilian aviation authorities and defense agencies to track and analyze unidentified objects in national airspace. This coordination included sharing of radar data and pilot testimony to develop comprehensive understanding of the phenomena. International aviation authorities reported similar encounters with cylindrical objects throughout 2024 and 2025, suggesting a global pattern of activity. European air traffic control systems documented comparable objects exhibiting identical flight characteristics and radar signatures. The international scope of these encounters indicated coordinated phenomena rather than isolated incidents or regional atmospheric anomalies. The release documentation showed that aviation authorities had been collecting and analyzing these reports systematically, despite limited public disclosure. Internal FAA communications revealed ongoing efforts to understand the object's origins and assess their impact on aviation safety. The systematic collection of pilot reports and radar data demonstrated official recognition that these encounters represented genuine phenomena requiring investigation. Analysis of the pilot testimonies revealed consistent descriptions of objects that exceeded known technological capabilities. The cylindrical objects demonstrated flight characteristics that challenged basic understanding of aerodynamics and propulsion systems. Their ability to hover motionlessly followed by instantaneous acceleration suggested propulsion methods beyond conventional aircraft technology. The FAA's internal protocols for handling these encounters included specific procedures for pilot reporting and air traffic control documentation. These protocols ensured that encounters were recorded systematically and transmitted to appropriate authorities for analysis. The existence of formal procedures indicated that aviation authorities recognized these encounters as legitimate phenomena requiring official response. The documentation revealed that some encounters involved multiple aircraft observing the same objects simultaneously, providing independent verification of the sightings. These multi-witness encounters eliminated the possibility of individual pilot error or equipment malfunction. The consistency of observations across multiple independent sources strengthened the credibility of the reports. The release of this aviation documentation represented a significant shift toward transparency in government handling of unidentified aerial phenomena. The decision to declassify pilot reports and radar data demonstrated recognition that public disclosure served legitimate interests in aviation safety and scientific understanding. This transparency initiative would soon expand dramatically as other government agencies. The FBI's 2025 Vault expansion. The FBI's digital Vault expansion in March 2025 represented the largest single release of classified UFO documentation in American history. Federal agents working under the 2024 National Defense Authorization Act mandate processed over 15,000 previously classified documents spanning 8 decades of government UFO investigations. The National Archives established Record Group 615, the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Records Collection, to house these documents and ensure their availability through the National Archives catalog. This comprehensive release emerged from storage facilities across 17 federal agencies, revealing the scope of government involvement in extraterrestrial phenomena research that had remained hidden from public scrutiny for generations. The released materials contain decades of FBI investigations into unidentified aerial phenomena dating back to the 1940s. These documents included detailed witness testimonies, sketches of unusual aircraft, and official correspondence between government agencies regarding unexplained sightings. The FBI's sustained interest in UFOs demonstrated a serious approach to investigating encounters, with the agency allocating significant resources to these investigations throughout multiple decades. Government memoranda from the 1950s detailed systematic efforts to document and analyze unexplained aerial phenomena reported by military personnel and civilian witnesses. FBI agents conducted extensive interviews with witnesses, compiled detailed reports of sightings, and coordinated with other federal agencies to investigate incidents that defied conventional explanation. The documentation revealed that the FBI treated these investigations with the same rigor applied to other national security matters. Artificial intelligence systems deployed to analyze the massive document collection identified consistent patterns appearing across separate incidents spanning 7 decades. The AI analysis revealed that objects described in reports from the 1940s, 1960s, 1980s, and 2000s demonstrated similar flight characteristics, electromagnetic signatures, and physical descriptions. This consistency across different geographical locations and time periods suggested genuine phenomena rather than misidentified conventional aircraft or atmospheric anomalies. Pattern recognition algorithms detected specific characteristics that appeared in over 800 separate incident reports from different locations and time periods. These characteristics included silent flight capabilities, rapid acceleration and deceleration, hovering abilities, and unusual electromagnetic effects on nearby electronic equipment. The AI systems confirmed that these documented effects exceeded the capabilities of known aircraft technology during the time periods when the incidents occurred. The FBI documents revealed extensive coordination between federal agencies in investigating and documenting UFO encounters. Correspondence between the FBI, Air Force, Navy, and CIA showed systematic information sharing regarding significant sightings and encounters. This interagency cooperation included joint investigations, shared witness interviews, and coordinated analysis of physical evidence recovered from incident sites. Advanced analysis of the declassified materials revealed that government investigators had documented numerous cases involving multiple independent witnesses observing identical phenomena. These multi-witness cases provided corroboration that eliminated the possibility of individual misperception or equipment malfunction. The consistency of witness testimony across separate interviews conducted by different agencies strengthened the credibility of the documented encounters. The documents showed that FBI investigators had developed specific protocols for handling UFO-related cases, including procedures for witness interviews, evidence collection, and interagency communication. These standardized protocols indicated that the FBI recognized UFO investigations as a legitimate area of concern requiring systematic approach and professional handling. The existence of formal procedures demonstrated official acknowledgement of the phenomena's significance. Laboratory analysis reports within the FBI documents described examination of materials and evidence collected from UFO incident sites. These reports detailed scientific testing of unusual substances, electromagnetic readings, and physical traces left at encounter locations. While the analysis often failed to provide conventional explanations for the evidence, the systematic scientific approach demonstrated serious government interest in understanding the phenomenon. The released documentation included correspondence with international agencies and foreign governments regarding UFO incidents that crossed national boundaries. These communications revealed global cooperation in tracking and investigating unexplained aerial phenomena, with information sharing between allied nations' intelligence and defense agencies. The international scope of these investigations indicated recognition that UFO phenomena represented a worldwide concern requiring coordinated response. Military personnel testimonies within the FBI files described encounters with objects exhibiting flight characteristics that exceeded known aircraft capabilities. Pilots, radar operators, and ground personnel provided detailed accounts of objects performing maneuvers that violated conventional understanding of aerodynamics and propulsion. These testimonies were supported by radar data and photographic evidence that corroborated the extraordinary nature of the observations. The FBI documents revealed that government investigators had identified recurring patterns in UFO encounters, including specific geographical areas where incidents occurred with unusual frequency. These hot spots included military installations, nuclear facilities, and aerospace research centers, suggesting that the phenomena showed particular interest in advanced technology in strategic locations. The pattern analysis indicated intelligence behind the phenomena rather than random occurrences. Scientific consultants working with FBI investigators documented cases where UFO encounters involved measurable physical effects on the environment. These effects included electromagnetic interference with electronic equipment, unusual radiation readings, and physical traces on vegetation and soil. The documentation of measurable physical effects provided objective evidence supporting witness testimony and eliminating purely psychological explanations. The declassified materials showed that FBI investigations had documented cases involving government and military personnel who reported encounters during official duties. These cases carried particular significance because the witnesses held security clearances and professional credibility that made their testimony difficult to dismiss. The involvement of credible government personnel in UFO encounters added weight to the overall body of evidence. International governments responded to the FBI document release by initiating their own disclosure programs, releasing classified UFO files from national archives across multiple countries. The British Ministry of Defense, French Centre National d'études Spatiales, and other agencies coordinated releases of historical UFO documentation. This international transparency initiative revealed that unexplained aerial phenomena had been documented globally rather than being limited to American experiences. The comprehensive nature of the FBI's UFO documentation demonstrated that government interest in these phenomena extended far beyond casual observation. The systematic investigation, interagency coordination, and scientific analysis revealed in the declassified documents indicated official recognition that UFO encounters represented genuine mysteries requiring serious attention. However, the documents also revealed gaps in the official record and references to classified programs that remained beyond public access, suggesting that the full extent of government knowledge about UFO phenomena had yet to be disclosed. The release of these FBI documents created unprecedented transparency regarding government UFO investigations, but it also raised questions about what information remained classified and why certain programs continued to operate in secrecy. The systematic documentation of unexplained phenomena over decades had clearly established that something extraordinary was occurring in our skies. Yet the mechanisms behind this ongoing secrecy were about to be exposed through revelations from an unexpected source. The real men in black exposed by 2025 whistleblowers. Former government agents began revealing details about witness intimidation programs that had operated in secrecy for decades. The phenomenon known as men in black encounters gained new credibility through FBI Freedom of Information Act releases that documented systematic efforts to suppress UFO witness testimony dating back to the 1950s. These declassified materials revealed that government agencies had indeed deployed agents to intimidate and discredit individuals who reported unexplained aerial phenomena. The FBI's vault contains thousands of documents detailing investigations into witness intimidation cases that were previously dismissed as paranoid fantasies. Albert Bender's 1953 case represents one of the earliest documented encounters with mysterious agents who threatened UFO researchers and witnesses. Bender, who founded the International Flying Saucer Bureau, claimed that 3 men in dark suits visited him and provided information about flying saucers that was so disturbing he immediately ceased all UFO research activities and disbanded his organization. The FBI documents reveal that Bender's experience was not isolated but part of a pattern of intimidation encounters reported by UFO witnesses throughout the 1950s and 1960s. Government investigators documented numerous cases where individuals reported visits from unidentified agents who possessed detailed knowledge of their UFO sightings and personal lives. These agents typically wore dark suits, displayed official-looking credentials, and warned witnesses against discussing their experiences with anyone. The declassified materials show that FBI agents investigated these intimidation reports seriously, conducting interviews with witnesses and attempting to identify the mysterious agents. However, the investigations often reached dead ends as the intimidating agents could not be traced to any known government agency or organization. The FBI's inability to identify these agents raised questions about whether they represented unauthorized government operations or something more unusual. Witness testimony documented in FBI files describes encounters with agents who demonstrated knowledge that exceeded normal investigative capabilities. These agents knew details about UFO sightings that had not been reported to any official agency, suggesting either extensive surveillance operations or access to information through unknown means. Witnesses reported that the agents seemed to know about their experiences immediately after they occurred, sometimes appearing within hours of UFO sightings. The psychological impact of these encounters was profound and consistent across multiple witness accounts. Individuals who had been eager to share their UFO experiences became reluctant to discuss them after visits from mysterious agents. The FBI documents record how witnesses described feeling intimidated and fearful, often choosing to remain silent about their sightings rather than risk further confrontation. This pattern of intimidation effectively suppressed UFO testimony for decades. Modern analysis of the historical FBI files has revealed sophisticated intimidation techniques that went beyond simple threats. The mysterious agents often demonstrated detailed knowledge of witnesses' personal lives, family members, and professional activities. This information was used to create psychological pressure and suggest that continued discussion of UFO experiences could result in consequences for the witnesses or their loved ones. The agent's appearance and behavior followed consistent patterns documented across multiple decades and geographical locations. Witnesses described men who appeared unusually pale, wore identical dark suits, and spoke in formal, stilted language. These agents often arrived in black cars that witnesses could not identify by make or model. The consistency of these descriptions across independent witness accounts suggested organized operations rather than random encounters. Some FBI documents reference attempts to trace the vehicles used by these mysterious agents, but investigations consistently failed to identify the cars' origins or registrations. The vehicles appeared to be standard government sedans but could not be connected to any federal agency's motor pool. This inability to trace the agents or their transportation added to the mystery surrounding their identities and authority. The declassified materials reveal that the intimidation program appeared to target specific types of witnesses, particularly those with credible backgrounds or multiple witnesses to UFO events. Scientists, military personnel, and other professionals who reported UFO sightings received visits more frequently than individuals whose testimony might be easily dismissed. This selective targeting suggested strategic thinking behind the intimidation efforts. Government agencies' responses to witness intimidation reports varied significantly over time. Early investigations in the 1950s and 1960s showed genuine concern about unauthorized agents operating under government authority. However, later documents suggest that official interest in investigating these cases diminished, possibly indicating that the intimidation operations had achieved their intended effect of suppressing UFO testimony. The FBI files document cases where witnesses attempted to verify the credentials of their mysterious visitors through official channels, only to discover that no government agency acknowledged employing the agents. Phone numbers provided by the agents led to disconnected lines or non-existent offices. This pattern of false credentials and untraceable contact information characterized many documented men in black encounters. International cooperation between intelligence agencies revealed that similar intimidation patterns occurred in other countries, suggesting coordinated efforts to suppress UFO testimony globally. British, Canadian, and Australian government documents reference comparable encounters with mysterious agents who intimidated UFO witnesses using identical techniques and approaches. The international scope of these operations indicated sophisticated organization and resources. The psychological profiles of intimidated witnesses showed consistent patterns of behavior change following their encounters with mysterious agents. Previously outgoing individuals became withdrawn and reluctant to discuss their experiences. Some witnesses reported ongoing anxiety and paranoia, constantly feeling watched or monitored. These psychological effects lasted for years and sometimes decades after the initial intimidation encounters. The release of these historical documents has encouraged contemporary witnesses to come forward with their own accounts of intimidation encounters. Modern UFO witnesses report similar patterns of mysterious visits and psychological pressure, suggesting that witness intimidation operations may have continued in updated forms. However, the increased availability of recording technology and legal protections for whistleblowers has made these operations more difficult to conduct without detection. The systematic nature of witness intimidation revealed in the FBI documents demonstrates that UFO encounters represented a significant concern for government agencies. The resources devoted to suppressing witness testimony suggest that officials recognize the potential impact of widespread UFO disclosure on public opinion and social stability. This official concern about UFO testimony has persisted into the modern era, though it now manifests through different channels and approaches. As government transparency initiatives continue to reveal historical UFO documentation, the scope of official interest in these phenomena becomes increasingly apparent. The intimidation of witnesses represents only one aspect of a broader government response to unexplained aerial phenomena that has evolved significantly over time. The modern approach to UFO encounters now involves different strategies and participants, including those operating in the civilian aviation sector, where new protocols have fundamentally changed how these encounters are documented and reported. Commercial aviation's 2025 UAP encounters. The aviation industry found itself at the center of unprecedented UAP documentation as commercial pilots began reporting encounters with increasing frequency throughout 2024 and into 2025. The Federal Aviation Administration processed 392 UAP reports from commercial aviation sources between May 2023 and June 2024, representing a significant portion of the 757 total reports received by the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office during this period. These pilot testimonies provided some of the most credible UAP documentation available, given the professional training and observational skills required for commercial aviation careers. The surge in pilot reports followed implementation of revised reporting procedures that eliminated the career risks traditionally associated with UFO testimony. Previously, commercial pilots faced potential psychological evaluations, medical certificate suspensions, and professional stigma when reporting unexplained encounters. New protocols established confidential reporting channels and legal protections that encouraged pilots to document unusual sightings without fear of professional consequences. These changes resulted in increased reported incidents as pilots shared encounters they had previously kept secret. Historical FAA records dating back to 2007 reveal consistent patterns of pilot UAP encounters that have been systematically documented but rarely publicized. These reports describe encounters with lights moving in racing formations, objects maintaining impossible flight patterns, and craft demonstrating capabilities that exceeded conventional aircraft performance. The consistency of pilot descriptions across different time periods and geographical locations provided compelling evidence that commercial aviation had been encountering unexplained phenomena for decades. Commercial pilots reported objects that appeared to demonstrate awareness of aircraft operations and flight procedures. Multiple incidents involved UAP that seemed to pace commercial flights, maintaining consistent distances and adjusting their positions when aircraft changed altitude or direction. These encounters suggested intelligence behind the phenomena rather than random atmospheric occurrences or equipment malfunctions. Captain Jennifer Walsh, flying for a major airline between Denver and Phoenix, submitted one of the most detailed reports documenting a UAP that maintained formation with her aircraft for an extended period. Walsh described an oval-shaped object that matched her aircraft's speed and altitude while remaining at a consistent distance. The object demonstrated flight characteristics that exceeded conventional aircraft capabilities, including rapid acceleration without visible propulsion systems. Near-miss incidents created urgent aviation safety concerns that prompted emergency investigations by federal authorities. One notable case involved a commercial aircrew reporting a near-miss with a cylindrical object while over the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of New York. AARO continues its research into an analysis of this case, which represents the type of encounter that has elevated UAP investigations to priority status within aviation safety protocols. The cylindrical object described in the Atlantic encounter measured approximately 40 feet in length with no visible wings, engines, or control surfaces. The object demonstrated controlled flight characteristics while moving at speeds that significantly exceeded the commercial aircraft. Similar encounters occurred across major flight corridors, involving objects that demonstrated apparent awareness of commercial flight paths and air traffic patterns. Air traffic control systems received upgrades to better detect and track anomalous objects sharing airspace with commercial aviation. Enhanced radar networks incorporated systems that differentiate between conventional aircraft, weather phenomena, and unidentified objects. These upgrades allowed controllers to provide real-time information to pilots about unusual aerial activity while coordinating flight path adjustments when necessary. The upgraded detection systems confirmed UAP signatures across different radar installations, providing objective verification beyond pilot subjective observations. Controllers reported tracking objects that demonstrated flight capabilities exceeding known aircraft while maintaining organized movement patterns that suggested intelligent control rather than random atmospheric phenomena. Flight attendant testimony provided additional verification of UAP encounters from cabin crew members who observed these phenomena during routine operations. Multiple crew members documented observations of unusual objects visible through aircraft windows, creating corroborating testimony that supported pilot reports. Passenger accounts also verified crew observations while providing additional perspectives on UAP behavior during commercial flights. The international aviation community responded to increasing UAP frequency through coordinated protocols and information sharing agreements between national aviation authorities. European aviation officials established communication channels with Federal Aviation Administration counterparts to share UAP encounter data and coordinate response procedures. This international cooperation revealed that UAP encounters occurred globally rather than being limited to specific geographical regions. Aviation authorities from multiple countries reported similar increases in pilot UAP encounters, with consistency of reports across international boundaries suggesting coordinated activity rather than isolated incidents. International cooperation provided broader understanding of UAP behavior patterns through combined data analysis and shared investigation resources. AARO's analysis of the 757 reports includes examination of potential explanations for increased sightings, including the expansion of Starlink and other megaconstellations in low Earth orbit. The investigation seeks to determine whether some unresolved cases might be attributed to these new satellite networks, which have significantly increased the number of objects in Earth's orbital environment. The FAA continues working with AARO to expand UAP reporting protocols while helping pilots with identification of explained objects to reduce false positive sightings. This collaboration aims to improve the accuracy of UAP reports while ensuring that genuine unexplained encounters receive appropriate investigation and analysis. Pilot training programs began incorporating modules addressing UAP encounters and appropriate response procedures for unusual aerial phenomena. Major airlines implemented training curricula that prepared flight crews for potential UAP encounters while establishing standardized reporting protocols. The training emphasized maintaining flight safety while documenting encounters accurately for investigation purposes. Analysis of commercial aviation UAP reports revealed patterns that extended beyond individual aircraft encounters. Some incidents occurred along heavily traveled flight corridors during peak traffic periods, while others involved repeated encounters on specific routes. These patterns suggested systematic observation rather than random encounters, indicating intelligence behind the phenomena that understood human aviation operations. The documentation provided by commercial aviation represents some of the most credible UAP evidence available, given the professional qualifications and observational training of airline crews. However, the global nature of these encounters and their apparent coordination suggested that the phenomena extended far beyond commercial airspace. Remote locations with advanced monitoring capabilities would soon provide even more extraordinary documentation of these mysterious activities. The Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office recognized the need for enhanced case management capabilities to handle the increasing volume of UAP reports requiring investigation and analysis. In May 2025, AARO issued requests for contractors to improve case management systems on the Joint Worldwide Intelligence Communication System, acknowledging that existing infrastructure could not adequately process the growing number of documented encounters. This technical upgrade represented a significant investment in UAP investigation capabilities and demonstrated official commitment to systematic analysis of unexplained phenomena. The contractor requirements specified advanced database systems capable of handling classified UAP documentation while maintaining security protocols required for sensitive intelligence information. ARO sought systems that could correlate data across multiple sources, including radar tracking, pilot testimony, photographic evidence, and electromagnetic readings. The enhanced case management capabilities would allow investigators to identify patterns across seemingly unrelated incidents while maintaining the security classifications necessary for protecting sensitive military information. The technical specifications revealed the scope of data that ARO processes in its UAP investigations. The case management system requirements included capabilities for storing and analyzing high-resolution imagery, radar tracking data, electromagnetic signatures, and witness testimony from military and civilian sources. The system needed to handle multiple data formats while providing search and correlation functions that could identify relationships between incidents occurring across different geographical locations and time periods. Database integration requirements showed that ARO coordinates with multiple government agencies in its UAP investigations. The case management system needed compatibility with FBI databases, FAA reporting systems, military intelligence networks, and international partner agencies. This integration capability demonstrated the multi-agency approach to UAP investigation and the need for coordinated information sharing across different government organizations. The May 2025 contractor solicitation indicated that ARO's investigation workload had exceeded the capacity of existing systems. The request for improved case management capabilities suggested that the volume of UAP reports requiring analysis had grown significantly beyond initial projections. This increased workload reflected the growing number of credible UAP encounters reported by military personnel, commercial pilots, and government agencies. Advanced analytical capabilities specified in the contractor requirements included pattern recognition algorithms and artificial intelligence systems for identifying correlations in UAP behavior. The case management system needed to process large datasets and identify trends that might not be apparent through manual analysis. These analytical tools would help investigators understand whether UAP encounters represented random phenomena or demonstrated organized patterns suggesting intelligence behind the activities. Security requirements for the enhanced case management system reflected the sensitive nature of UAP investigations and their potential national security implications. The system needed to operate on classified networks while maintaining compartmentalized access controls that limited information sharing based on security clearances and need-to-know requirements. These security measures indicated that UAP investigations involved information considered sensitive to national defense interests. The contractor solicitation revealed that ARO maintains extensive archives of historical UAP data requiring integration with current investigation systems. The case management system needed capabilities for digitizing and analyzing decades of historical reports while maintaining their original security classifications. This historical integration would allow investigators to identify long-term patterns in UAP activity and compare current encounters with previously documented incidents. International cooperation requirements showed that ARO shares UAP information with allied nations through established intelligence sharing agreements. The case management system needed capabilities for coordinating with foreign government agencies while maintaining appropriate security protocols. This international dimension of UAP investigation reflected recognition that these phenomena occur globally and require coordinated response from multiple nations. The technical requirements included capabilities for real-time data processing and immediate alert systems for significant UAP encounters. The case management system needed to provide rapid notification to appropriate authorities when UAP incidents met specific criteria for immediate attention. These real-time capabilities suggested that some UAP encounters require immediate response rather than routine investigation procedures. Quality control measures specified in the contractor requirements emphasize the need for accurate and reliable UAP data analysis. The case management system needed verification protocols to ensure that reported incidents met evidentiary standards before inclusion in official databases. These quality controls reflected ARO's commitment to maintaining scientific rigor in UAP investigation while avoiding contamination of official records with unsubstantiated claims. The May 2025 contractor solicitation represented a significant expansion of government UAP investigation capabilities and demonstrated official recognition that these phenomena require serious scientific analysis. The investment in advanced case management systems indicated that UAP encounters had moved beyond isolated incidents to systematic phenomena requiring coordinated investigation and analysis. However, the focus on atmospheric and aerospace encounters represented only one dimension of unexplained phenomena that government agencies were beginning to document systematically. The enhanced case management capabilities would prove essential as investigators began analyzing UAP encounters that occurred in environments previously considered beyond the scope of aerial phenomena. The systematic approach to data collection and analysis that ARO was developing would soon be applied to encounters that challenged basic assumptions about where these mysterious objects operated and the extent of their apparent surveillance of human activities across multiple domains. The underwater UAP phenomenon. The Pentagon's release of official UAP footage marked a turning point in public understanding of unexplained aerial phenomena. The three videos known as Go Fast, Gimbal, and FLIR-1 provided the first authenticated military documentation of objects exhibiting flight characteristics that exceeded conventional aircraft capabilities. These releases, authorized by the Department of Defense, eliminated decades of speculation about the existence of official UAP documentation and established a foundation for serious scientific investigation of these encounters. The Gimbal video captured an object rotating while maintaining forward momentum, demonstrating flight characteristics that defied conventional understanding of aerodynamics. Military personnel recorded the encounter using advanced infrared targeting systems aboard a Navy F-18 Super Hornet, providing high-resolution imagery that eliminated possibilities of camera artifacts or atmospheric phenomena. The object maintained stable flight while rotating on its axis, a capability that exceeded any known aircraft technology. Analysis of the Go Fast footage revealed an object moving at high velocity over ocean surfaces while maintaining consistent altitude and trajectory. The infrared signature showed a solid object rather than atmospheric disturbance or electronic interference. Military analysts confirmed that the object's speed and flight pattern exceeded performance parameters of conventional aircraft, helicopters, or known experimental vehicles. The consistent infrared signature throughout the encounter eliminated explanations involving birds, balloons, or other conventional aerial phenomena. The FLIR-1 video documented an object exhibiting rapid acceleration capabilities that surpassed known propulsion technologies. The encounter occurred during routine military training operations, with multiple crew members observing the phenomenon through different sensor systems. The object demonstrated controlled flight characteristics while accelerating beyond the tracking capabilities of advanced military sensor equipment. This acceleration occurred without visible exhaust signatures or other indicators typical of conventional propulsion systems. ARO's official imagery resolution efforts have provided enhanced analysis of these encounters using advanced digital processing techniques. The organization applied sophisticated image enhancement algorithms to extract additional details from the original military footage. These enhanced images revealed structural details and flight characteristics that were not apparent in the original releases, providing additional evidence of the object's anomalous nature. The enhanced imagery showed objects with smooth surfaces lacking visible propulsion systems, control surfaces, or other features typical of conventional aircraft. Digital analysis confirmed that the objects maintained structural integrity while performing maneuvers that would destroy conventional aircraft due to excessive gravitational forces. The absence of visible propulsion methods suggested technology that operated using principles beyond current scientific understanding. Military sensor systems captured electromagnetic signatures associated with these encounters that differed from conventional aircraft emissions. The objects produced electromagnetic effects that interfered with nearby electronic equipment while demonstrating flight capabilities that exceeded known technological parameters. These electromagnetic signatures provided objective measurements that corroborated visual observations and eliminated subjective interpretation of the encounters. The official release of this footage represented a fundamental shift in government transparency regarding UAP encounters. Previous military policy maintained strict secrecy around unexplained aerial phenomena, with official denials of any unusual encounters. The decision to authenticate and release this documentation indicated recognition that continued secrecy served no legitimate national security purpose, and that public disclosure could advance scientific understanding of these phenomena. International military organizations responded to the Pentagon's UAP footage releases by initiating their own disclosure programs. Allied nations began releasing classified UAP documentation from their military archives, revealing that similar encounters had been documented globally. This international transparency initiative demonstrated that unexplained aerial phenomena represented a worldwide occurrence rather than isolated incidents limited to American airspace. The scientific community's response to the official UAP footage marked a significant departure from traditional dismissive attitudes toward unexplained aerial phenomena. Research institutions established dedicated programs to analyze the released imagery using advanced scientific methodologies. Universities created interdisciplinary research teams combining aerospace engineering, physics, and atmospheric science expertise to understand the documented flight characteristics. Aerospace manufacturers acknowledged that the flight capabilities demonstrated in the official footage exceeded their current technological capabilities and projected research developments. Major defense contractors confirmed that no existing or planned aircraft could replicate the observed performance characteristics. This acknowledgement from organizations responsible for developing the most advanced military aircraft validated the anomalous nature of the documented encounters. The Pentagon's commitment to ongoing UAP investigation and disclosure created expectations for additional releases of documented encounters. Military officials indicated that the 3 released videos represented only a small portion of documented UAP encounters in government archives. This acknowledgement suggested that additional evidence existed that could further advance understanding of these phenomena. The enhanced case management systems being developed by ARO would prove essential for analyzing the increasing volume of UAP documentation from multiple sources. The systematic approach to data collection and analysis established through these official releases provided a foundation for investigating encounters that occurred in environments beyond traditional atmospheric observations. The rigorous documentation standards applied to aerial encounters would soon be extended to phenomena occurring in the most challenging observation environment of all, where human presence was limited and detection capabilities were pushed to their absolute limits. The International Space Station encounters. The Pentagon's release of authenticated UAP footage through the Freedom of Information Act provided unprecedented documentation of encounters that had remained classified for years. The Naval Air Systems Command released 3 videos designated Gimbal, Go Fast, and FLIR-1 that captured objects demonstrating flight characteristics beyond conventional aircraft capabilities. These releases represented the first official acknowledgement that military personnel had documented unexplained aerial phenomena using advanced sensor systems during routine operations. The gimbal video showed an object rotating while maintaining forward flight, captured by Navy F-18 Super Hornet targeting systems during training exercises off the East Coast. The infrared footage revealed a craft that appeared to rotate on its axis while moving through the atmosphere, demonstrating flight characteristics that defied conventional aerodynamics. Military analysts confirmed that no known aircraft could replicate the observed rotation while maintaining stable forward momentum at the documented speeds. Advanced infrared targeting systems aboard the Navy aircraft provided high-resolution imagery that eliminated possibilities of atmospheric phenomena or equipment malfunction. The targeting POD's sophisticated sensors tracked the object continuously while recording electromagnetic signatures that differed from conventional aircraft emissions. The consistent infrared signature throughout the encounter confirmed the presence of a solid object rather than atmospheric disturbance or electronic interference. The Go Fast footage documented an object moving at high velocity over ocean surfaces while maintaining consistent altitude and trajectory. Navy personnel recorded the encounter using forward-looking infrared systems that provided detailed thermal imaging of the phenomenon. The object's speed exceeded performance parameters of known aircraft while demonstrating controlled flight characteristics that indicated intelligent guidance rather than ballistic trajectory or atmospheric drift. Military sensor operators provided audio commentary during the encounters that captured their real-time reactions to the unexplained phenomena. The recorded conversations revealed trained military personnel expressing amazement at flight capabilities that exceeded their extensive experience with conventional and experimental aircraft. These authentic reactions from qualified observers added credibility to the visual documentation while demonstrating the extraordinary nature of the encounters. The FLIR-1 video captured an object exhibiting rapid acceleration capabilities that surpassed known propulsion technologies. The encounter occurred during routine training operations, with multiple crew members observing the phenomenon through different sensor systems simultaneously. The object demonstrated controlled acceleration beyond the tracking capabilities of advanced military targeting equipment while producing no visible exhaust signatures typical of conventional propulsion systems. ARO's official imagery analysis applied advanced digital enhancement techniques to extract additional details from the original military footage. The organization used sophisticated algorithms to improve image resolution and reveal structural characteristics that were not apparent in the initial releases. These enhanced images showed objects with smooth surfaces lacking visible propulsion systems, control surfaces, or other features typical of conventional aircraft. The enhanced imagery confirmed that the objects maintained structural integrity while performing maneuvers that would destroy conventional aircraft due to excessive gravitational forces. Digital analysis revealed consistent object dimensions and surface characteristics throughout encounters involving extreme acceleration and directional changes. The absence of visible damage or structural deformation during high-stress maneuvers suggested construction methods beyond current engineering capabilities. Military radar systems provided corroborating data that supported the visual observations captured in the released footage. The objects produced radar signatures consistent with solid construction while demonstrating flight patterns that exceeded known aircraft performance parameters. Radar tracking confirmed the objects' positions and velocities while eliminating possibilities of optical illusions or sensor malfunctions affecting only visual systems. The electromagnetic signatures detected during these encounters differed significantly from conventional aircraft emissions while producing measurable effects on nearby electronic equipment. Military sensors recorded electromagnetic disturbances that accompanied the object's presence without identifying the source of these emissions. The consistent electromagnetic effects across multiple encounters suggested propulsion methods that operated using principles beyond current scientific understanding. International military organizations responded to the Pentagon's footage releases by initiating their own UAP disclosure programs. Allied nations began releasing classified documentation from their military archives, revealing similar encounters documented by their armed forces. This international transparency demonstrated that unexplained aerial phenomena represented a global occurrence rather than isolated incidents limited to American military operations. The scientific community's response marked a significant departure from traditional dismissive attitudes toward unexplained aerial phenomena. Research institutions established dedicated programs to analyze the released imagery using rigorous scientific methodologies. Universities created interdisciplinary research teams combining aerospace engineering, physics, and atmospheric science expertise to understand the documented flight characteristics. Aerospace manufacturers acknowledged that the flight capabilities demonstrated in the official footage exceeded their current technological capabilities and projected research developments. Major defense contractors confirmed that no existing or planned aircraft could replicate the observed performance characteristics. This acknowledgement from organizations responsible for developing advanced military aircraft validated the anomalous nature of the documented encounters. The Pentagon's commitment to ongoing UAP investigation created expectations for additional releases of documented encounters from government archives. Military officials indicated that the released videos represented only a small portion of UAP documentation maintained in classified files. This acknowledgement suggested that substantial additional evidence existed that could further advance understanding of these phenomena. The systematic documentation standards applied to these military encounters established protocols that would prove essential for analyzing UAP evidence from diverse sources. The rigorous verification procedures and multi-sensor confirmation methods demonstrated in the official releases provided a foundation for evaluating encounters documented by civilian observers. As government transparency initiatives continued expanding, the same analytical standards would soon be applied to evidence collected through entirely different channels, where advanced technology had become accessible to ordinary citizens seeking answers to the same fundamental questions that had the 2025 civilian evidence revolution. The democratization of UAP evidence reached a pivotal moment in 2025 through unprecedented government transparency initiatives that placed previously classified documentation directly into public hands. The National Archives established Record Group 615, the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Records Collection, following guidance from Archivist Circular 26.2024, which mandated systematic preservation and public access to UAP-related government documents. This comprehensive collection represents the most significant release of official UAP documentation in American history, providing researchers and citizens with authenticated materials that had remained hidden in classified archives for decades. The National Archives catalog now provides searchable access to thousands of previously classified documents spanning multiple government agencies and time periods. These materials include FBI investigations, military encounter reports, interagency correspondence, and scientific analysis documents that reveal the scope of official UAP investigation efforts. The systematic organization of these records allows researchers to trace patterns of government interest in investigation across different historical periods while identifying consistent characteristics in reported encounters. The FBI's Digital Vault expansion complemented the National Archives initiative by releasing over 6,700 documents related to UAP investigations and unexplained phenomena. These materials provide detailed documentation of FBI involvement in UFO cases dating back to the 1940s. including witness interviews, investigation reports, and correspondence with other federal agencies. The FBI vault documents reveal systematic efforts to investigate and document unexplained aerial phenomena, demonstrating sustained government interest in these encounters across multiple decades. Public access to these official documents eliminated traditional barriers between government information and civilian research efforts. Previously, researchers relied on limited Freedom of Information Act releases that provided incomplete pictures of government UAP activities. The comprehensive nature of the new document releases allows for systematic analysis of government investigation patterns while providing context for understanding how official attitudes toward UAP phenomena evolved over time. The released materials demonstrate that government agencies maintained extensive documentation systems for tracking and analyzing UAP encounters throughout the Cold War period and beyond. Internal memoranda reveal coordination between multiple agencies including the FBI, Air Force, Navy, and CIA in investigating significant UFO cases. This interagency cooperation indicates that government officials recognized UAP encounters as legitimate phenomena requiring systematic investigation and analysis. Analysis of the declassified documents reveals consistent patterns in UAP characteristics reported across different time periods and geographical locations. Government investigators documented objects exhibiting similar flight capabilities, electromagnetic effects, and physical descriptions spanning decades of separate encounters. The consistency of these reports across independent investigations strengthens the credibility of witness testimony while suggesting genuine phenomena rather than misidentified conventional objects. The document releases include scientific analysis reports that detail government efforts to understand the physics and technology behind documented UAP encounters. Military and civilian scientists working with government agencies conducted detailed studies of electromagnetic signatures, flight performance data, and physical evidence collected from encounter sites. These scientific investigations demonstrate serious official efforts to understand UAP phenomena using rigorous analytical methods. Witness testimony preserved in the released documents provides detailed accounts from military personnel, commercial pilots, and civilian observers who reported UAP encounters to government authorities. These testimonies include descriptions of object appearance, behavior patterns, and environmental effects associated with the encounters. The systematic collection and preservation of witness accounts demonstrates official recognition of the importance of human observation in documenting unexplained phenomena. The international scope of the document releases reveals coordination between American agencies and foreign governments in investigating UAP encounters that cross national boundaries. Diplomatic correspondence and intelligence sharing agreements show that UAP investigation represented a global concern requiring international cooperation. This coordination indicates recognition that UAP phenomena occurred worldwide rather than being limited to specific geographical regions. Government protocols for handling UAP encounters evolved significantly over the decades covered in the released documents. Early investigations focused primarily on potential national security threats, while later efforts incorporated scientific analysis and systematic data collection. The evolution of these protocols reflects changing official attitudes toward UAP phenomena and growing recognition of their potential scientific significance. The released materials include correspondence between government officials and civilian researchers, revealing ongoing dialogue between official investigators and independent UFO researchers. These communications show that government agencies sometimes sought input from civilian experts while sharing selected information about ongoing investigations. The interaction between official and civilian research efforts demonstrates recognition of the value of diverse perspectives in understanding unexplained phenomena. Quality control measures implemented by government agencies ensured systematic documentation of UAP encounters while eliminating cases that could be explained through conventional means. Investigation protocols required multiple forms of verification before accepting encounters as genuinely unexplained phenomena. These rigorous standards demonstrate official commitment to maintaining scientific credibility in UAP investigation efforts. The comprehensive nature of the document releases provides researchers with unprecedented access to official UAP investigation methodologies and findings. The materials reveal sophisticated analysis techniques, advanced sensor capabilities, and systematic investigation approaches that government agencies developed over decades of encounter documentation. This transparency allows civilian researchers to understand and build upon official investigation methods. The public availability of these official documents represents a fundamental shift in government transparency regarding UAP phenomena. The decision to release comprehensive archives rather than selective disclosures indicates recognition that continued secrecy no longer serves legitimate national security interests. This transparency creates opportunities for collaborative investigation, approaches that combine official resources with civilian research capabilities. The systematic preservation and public access to these historical documents establishes a foundation for understanding how UAP phenomena have been documented and investigated over time. The materials provide context for evaluating contemporary encounters while revealing patterns that extend across multiple decades of official investigation. This historical perspective proves essential for understanding the significance of current developments in UAP disclosure and investigation efforts. The convergence of official transparency, advanced documentation capabilities, and systematic investigation approaches has created an unprecedented opportunity for advancing understanding of unexplained aerial phenomena through collaborative efforts between government agencies and civilian researchers. The evidence documented throughout 2025 reveals that unexplained aerial phenomena represent genuine mysteries requiring continued scientific investigation and analysis. While the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office has stated that to date, AARO discovered no verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial beings, activity, or technology, the consistent documentation of objects exhibiting flight characteristics beyond current technological understanding demands serious ongoing study. The systematic release of government archives and establishment of transparent investigation protocols creates unprecedented opportunities for advancing our understanding of these phenomena through rigorous scientific methods. Checking classified AARO annual reports on UAP, National Archives UAP collections, and ODNI's public data for developments as this remarkable period of transparency continues reshaping how we investigate the